Go for a peaceful ride.
You better run!
Halo Infinite is delayed till 2021.
There's one on Pug, I know. That shit's crazy.
PlayStation 5 for the win.
wonder what the Series X price is gonna be. What's going on with you, Pug?
The Last of Us 2 also added a silver trophy for grounded mode.
Yeah, well, they don't gotta worry about me ever picking up that game, truthfully. Or ever playing it again. I'm just not interested.
And The Last of Us 2 added a gold trophy for per 88th mode.
I owe my life to you, my lord.
I would be honored to work on your blade, my lord. Polished like a mirror.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
May your steel bring
What else is new? I was actually looking at the an interview with Nate Fox, which is the head of Sucker Punch, man, and that dude just knows how to make a game. He says, I don't want to make a game unpleasant feeling. You know, I mean, you can tell a story without making your shit feel unpleasant.
to keep your katana light and sharp.
It's time for me to make my whole color look black too.
My lord. Take care.
I thought I picked this shit up last time. That shit could be bugged.
A potential of a new BioShock game.
Really? Who's making it though?
A studio called Cloud Chamber.
You know, I never played a BioShock before. Where is this shit? I keep seeing the key has it. Where am I at on the map? Because that's what I'm going to do. All the way over here. This shit really bugged. Oh, this is gonna bother me so badly.
The only other breaking news I see is a rumor of the Xbox Series systems releasing in November.
I didn't think that was a rumor.
A samurai? Are you alive or a spirit? Alive. For now. And wondering what you do here. I feared the secrets of my dyes would go to waste. But a samurai lives. My colors are midnight. Trees blackened by fire. Eyes dark with yearning. Bring me the right materials, and I will clothe you, my lord.
You about to be black as hell.
The Mongols will think the very shadows have come for them. You look like Twilight itself has taken up arms. The Mongols will think the very shadows have come for them. You look like Twilight itself has taken up arms. The darkness suits you.
Now you gotta make me feel that way.
Thanks.
Jackass. Alright, cool. So we got this. Actually not bad looking.
I sent you a tweet.
What is this?
I'd rather show you the receipts that the way you know that I'm telling you the truth.
I heard about it on Reset Era. They were saying this shit, so
The color of shadows.
Goodbye.
circles and triangles. Alright, so let me see here. I guess that's the thing that I was looking for. Oh, I see. You gotta go somewhere specific. Okay. Understood. Now, for our mission. I gotta get better at fighting this game.
We're in this together. Here.
I'm happy to offer my services. Just for you. I hope it helps. An excellent choice. I'm sorry. I need more for that. Only the best for you.
Thank you.
Until we next meet, my lord.
Lord Sakai.
You're Kenji's friend.
That's right. We brought everything here, just like you said. We told them it was from the ghost.
I'm glad you did the right thing.
Why you have my camera? You're fucking kidding me.
Чи харав уу? Ха? Очиж цаашаа! Өнөө гэртээ харлаа. Цаашаа!
Okay, I'm going to go play my games.
All right, man. Thanks for the update, man.
That's my noble.
I'm gonna look into it some more.
Something over there. Throw your blades.
You got me.
Let's go, Nobu. I'm looking for a girl named Kuma.
Girls, boys, chickens. I have it all. For the right price, call them whatever you like.
Fool.
I work metals, woods, and cloth. You tell me. Trade is difficult in these times, my lord.
Do you know a girl by the name of Kuma?
The merchant's daughter? Yeah, I know her. Haven't seen her in days, though.
I need to find her.
Sorry. Can't help you.
I need to find a girl named Kuma.
I don't know anyone's name, and I don't want to. Leave me be.
Hey, warrior, over here.
I know who you're looking for.
Display. Okay. That's not what I'm here for. I am here for subtitles. Any way to make the subtitles smaller? Maybe an accessibility.
You know Kuma?
Yes, but we can't talk here. Follow me. I knew it was too good to be true.
Something's wrong. Her mother hasn't seen her in days.
We can speak privately here. Kuma is a friend. Last I saw her, she was leaving with a man who promised her a job.
What kind of job?
Running an inn. She wanted to earn some money for her mother. Made me promise not to spoil the surprise.
Where's the inn?
Numanaka Inn, up the main road.
Not really up the road.
Show mercy! You don't! No! You don't!
Why did the Ronin attack?
can't trust anyone these days. Innocent-looking girl working for bandits took all I had.
She seemed like a helpless young girl. I didn't see the men with her until it was too late.
Boss! I guess I rest soon. Heal! Numanaka Inn. Kuma should be here.
Heard something that way.
They forced me to do it. I never wanted to hurt anyone.
Forced you to do what?
Rob people. They made me wait on the roadside, calling for help. Most people would stop. Some wanted to help. Others.
It's over now. Let's get you home.
Come and fight!
Mother?
This is foolish. Surrender, and you can live.
Girls, boys, chickens. I have it all. For the right price, call them whatever you like.
Time to end this. I'm glad I could help. How did you find us?
I followed you. Saw you talking to that Ronin. After you left, I approached him myself.
That was brave. Ronin are dangerous, unpredictable.
Nothing compares to the fear of losing your child.
I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
Let's adjust my shit.
This is for you, Lord Sakai.
Belkaman. Yeah, I hear you. I'm just fucking with this chat, the settings. I had a customer today, man. He was acting like, you know, all goody two shoes, friendship type shit. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't like looking for anything, but like, he was supposed to buy a phone from me. Not buy a phone, but do the whole phone thing. And the reason why he didn't want to do it was because he didn't want to go through Apple Care for his phone insurance. So if it breaks, they replace it. And I'm like, it's the same fucking amount. So he dodged my call today after he told me to call him. I'm like, it's fucking stupid. Wasting my fucking time. He goes to Tsushima me. You know what I realized too when I was playing Ghost of Tsushima is I was focused on the color prompts a little bit too much. So I took all that, like, you know, when I get the weapon flashes or whatever. I turned it off, just making it miserable for me, I guess.
You turned it off intentionally, or you did it accidentally?
Intentionally. Because you can look at the enemies and tell what kind of attack they're going to do, wind up and all that other stuff. You don't necessarily need this shit flashing. But I was looking at this interview with Nate Fox, and this dude had everything. He's a real one. I'll put it that way. He was describing to people how he played it, how he created this game, and everybody was like, "Well, you know, there was some criticism about how this game is, you know, it's not really original." You know, what do you guys say about that? And he ends up saying, like,
not really original. Define original.
Well, because the game has the whole typical. It has the whole typical, like, open world shit. I'm like, if a game didn't have it, then you say that it's like the Horizon didn't have a lot of the open world shit. You know what I mean?
The statue is here. Yes, my lord. The Mongols stole our sacred Buddha and rode off toward the coast.
I mean, I kind of feel like that's a.
Not even your brother could keep that promise.
That's like a drive-by trolling comment, you know. Like I could go up to.
My brother fell to a Mongol.
I don't know, Tiger Woods, and say, you know, hey, your technique is unoriginal.
These monks are willing to give up everything.
You know? Or fucking LeBron James, hey man, your basketball technique is unoriginal.
Nothing. He wasn't even 20 when he saved this temple from bandits.
I mean, yeah, that's technically true, but it's like, you know, your people are always going to, if a medium has been around for a period of time, people are always going to take inspiration or learn from their predecessors, you know. So like that's a universal truth for like everything. So to make a comment like that's, I mean that fruit is so low, it's quite literally, it's under the earth. It's not even touching the ground. It's under it, you know. So that's just more, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Sensationalism. So trying to add some sensationalism to your interview or whatever.
You're angry.
How can you tell?
You're not talking.
That's why those websites are dying.
I heard
no one wants to read that shit.
That's the legend.
So.
In reality,
he ordered 3 of his bravest monks to challenge the bandits. Destruction. A sacrifice.
Like, if people, like, you know, when Jason Schreier, when he actually did some work on, like, you know, what was going on with BioWare, and he talked about Anthem, and he talked about Dragon Age, like, going so far and being scrapped in production, and they started over. Like, I actually read that shit. Because, like, the guy was actually doing, like, real research, real journalism. It was quality material, you know. But it's like, I guess...
Where did they go?
I guess it's a combination of people lack the talent to do real journalism, or they just
May your next life
they lack
be more
talent,
peaceful.
or they just fucking
He gave his life for his temple.
maybe just the
Like my
sensationalism is
brother, you
what's
would do the
failed. You know,
same.
maybe that's pushed, and maybe that's what people are told to do most of the time.
I mean, it's stupid, you know. It's rare that games are, when a game did something original, then you called it a fucking walking simulator. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that the game was that good, but like if you really wanted fucking originality, you know, you really don't want it. What you really want is a fucking reality TV show drama, fucking cutscene every 5-second experience. That's what you really want.
Mm-hmm.
Vis-a-vis fucking The Last of Us.
Mm. Oh yeah, apparently they got they got their free update. They had like some new modes and unlockable stuff. They're gonna have a grinding difficulty.
People are so done. People are so done with that shit.
You already know, like, I fucking beat that dead horse when I played that shit on grounded. Holy fuck.
Dude, you got some crazy combos you can do in this game. Like straight air juggles.
Mm-hmm.
They're so crazy.
Did you say air combos?
Yeah, air combos. Very much so. This guy like obliterated this dude. Like he just kept juggling them and shit. I was like, oh my god.
In Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah.
I'd have to look that up.
Well, I wouldn't advise you look it up because it's some spoily shit. I kind of want you to go through this game blind.
Combos are spoil territory?
Some things that
you fucking extreme combos.
Some things that you can do, they make you like. If I could put it into some kind of comparison as to how powerful you are towards the end of the game, you go from God of War 1 to God of War 3 max character. That's the type of like leaps and bounds you can do.
Really?
Yeah, and you get that way halfway through the game. Just some of the things that
you become the Kratos of Tsushima.
Basically, like he's pretty vicious.
There it is. Carved
Let's
from
see,
a
let's
star
see.
that fell from the heavens centuries ago. Beautiful.
There's nothing else like it on the island. Let's get it back to the temple.
When I say air juggles, I mean like hitting things with an arrow to keep you in the air, and then lunging forward to keeping you up. Like, you can juggle in here.
It's priceless.
Not infinite,
Probably
but
survived many such attempts.
Ad infinitum.
Have to die protecting it.
You want to let it be stolen?
No. But the temple is filled with treasures. It provokes greed and envy.
Lord Shimura brought me to see it when I was a boy. I was sure the sculptor must have met the Buddha in person.
When I was a boy, my family traveled here.
and I'm hearing like this game has, because I'm not there yet, I'm hearing like this game is heavy-hearted when it comes to a lot of things. Like, it was fucking people up.
We fight for a home.
And I'm so
heavy-hearted.
Yeah. Apparently they know how to create drama without, you know, without being ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
Unlike
I thought you were talking about the game difficulty.
No,
like
no. Storyline wise.
Fucking, this shit was heavy-hearted last night. I tell you that.
Fucking hell, man. I must have been tired and I wasn't looking or seeing shit. I don't fucking know. You know me. I'm a fucking emotional wreck or some shit. I was like, motherfuckers!
Looking taken to 11. I think the last time I ever witnessed you get that upset was it wasn't the last time we were playing Dying Light, but it was the first time we played The Following together, you know, years ago. And I don't know what it was, but you were like trying to drive that dune buggy around. You were hitting every possible fucking thing on that fucking map.
But they still fear the Mongols.
You get so pissed.
A lot of times that happens if I'm tired, man. Like, my whole, any kind of thing, like, degrades. Any kind of, like, focus degrades.
He's alone. See what he wants first.
The Ghost, and the brother of the Guardian. I have a message for you.
Speak.
The Ghost and the monks have defied the Khan's will. Surrender, and we spare this place. Refuse, and all will burn.
We will never surrender.
Then you will die.
I was reading up on, or I was looking into what ended up happening with Tsushima.
We don't have time to reach shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be their shelter.
Like, after the fucking ocean and shit like that.
The Abbot Sutra.
Are they worth more than the monks' lives? I can't say.
Hold on for a minute.
Centuries of learning reside in this temple. I can't let it burn.
Do let the monks burn.
I will die for this temple. Do what you have to.
Then stay here. I'll find the monks at the river and bring them back.
Anyway, when the ocean swallowed up the fucking Mongols, man, and they fucking tried to, like, you know, grab on pieces of plank and washed up on other pieces of the island.
Yeah.
When the fucking Japanese got there, they were, please spare us. They was like, fuck that. No, we're not doing that. Fucking executed them on sight, yo. They didn't want to hear the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they were doing fucked up things. They were killing children, and I mean, they both were fucked up, but they lined their boats with the fucking natives, like women. They strung them up like fucking beads. They put holes in their hands and had them dig.
Yeah, I told you about that, didn't I? I told you about that.
Not that.
Yeah, no, they put a line through the palm of their hands and strung them up on their ships. So I thought I told you about that. I know what it was. I was thinking about it, and then I didn't want to say anything because you were just playing it. So it was like, I guess if they were going to realistically depict that history, I guess I didn't want to kind of spoil that. you know.
You kind of see it in this game. You know what I mean? They don't tell it to you. Like, I was wandering an area, right, and there were 3 skulls that they fucking, because in Japanese culture,
Mongols coming.
they fucking they like cutting people's heads off. But so does the Mongols. You should do what I got to. Hold on for a minute.
Mongols coming! Get away from the river!
Anyway, there was like an area on the side of the road. They took like a fucking spear, and they fucking I can't stand these guys. Damn it. They're so annoying.
Advance and reach Nirvana! Retreat and find hell! Ryo! Send these Mongols back across the river, my lord. I need your blade! You're safe, my friends. Norio, what are you doing?
Yeah, they took like a spear.
Temples can be rebuilt. Lives can't.
And they took 3 skulls and stuck it inside the on top of the spear, like on the side of the road to deter people.
Yeah.
So that's you'll see the storytelling that way. You won't see it like blatantly, like, oh, it's not heavy-handed. These fucking monks with their underwear. You spoke to Esteban?
I mean, I was in a chat with him yesterday, but there was like me and a few other people, and he talked a little bit, but I wasn't going to bring that up, around mixed company. So
Put his dirty laundry out.
Well, it just like I didn't want to be confrontational. I guess in a mixed company, that's all. So I've said what I need to say. So if he wants to bring it up, he can talk to me. But I'm not gonna kick a fucking dead horse.
I hate, like, this got the patented fucking sucker punch sticking to ledges and shit. The issue.
Won't hold out much longer.
Yeah, I had forgotten that that Jesper Kidd actually helped compose some of the tracks on Borderlands 2. So
who the hell was that?
Probably one of the most talented composers.
Alright, so what did he do?
Video games. I'm telling you, you're not even letting me finish my statement. I was going to say one of the most talented composers when it comes to video games. In terms of what he's done, he's done all the work on Assassin's Creed. He pretty much did all the Hitman games. The first 4 Hitman games. He's not working on the originals. He did stuff for shit. I'm pulling up there. He's been around for a while. He's over in Guerrilla Games country. He's
Sakai, I need your blade.
He probably lives next door to Herbert Home.
Won't hold out much longer.
Wow, man, he's okay. MDK2, I remember that game. So we got the Hitman games, Freedom Fighters. Did the soundtrack for Tom
You keep
Clancy.
going in and out, man. What the fuck? No, I know. I'm just saying that you would be talking and you'd be like, he did it, and then he did it, and then he did it. No, I mean, but I asked you, like, what did he did, man? You were just like, oh, he's one of the best people ever. I don't know who he is. His name doesn't. I don't know him.
I said what he was, and I'm telling you what he's done. So, Darksiders 2, that was a great soundtrack. I really enjoyed the soundtrack of that game. Apparently he worked on Borderlands the Priesthood as well. He did Warhammer Vermintide, which is kind of like basically like a horde mode co-op. In terms of what he's doing recently, apparently he worked on Borderlands 3, which I haven't played that yet, and apparently he's also going to be co-composing on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So. Apparently he's done music for films and short films, but I don't recognize any of them.
The Mongols lost badly here. They won't be eager to return.
Mongols will never forget what you did for them.
I didn't fight alone, Oriol.
Yeah, but he has a very he's got a very unique
It's time I return to see
tone.
We still
basically.
need your Naginata to drive the invaders from our home.
You'll have
Yeah,
me.
what I think.
And my temple will be a strong ally to you
Was
in
that
the north.
Nolan? Oh,
I'll join you there.
Let's check the temple grounds. The Buddha. My brother earned the name Guardian when he saved this temple.
I mean, I could be mistaken, but I think pretty much everything he does, he like composes on his own. Like he doesn't. He's not a.
Everything passes away.
It's a worse statue when it's broken.
I'm trying to think what it's called, but
a better teacher.
You know, like with God of War, right? Like they hired the guy who, you know, he worked on like The Walking Dead and other stuff, but you know, he got with like a group of people in Iceland and conducted the soundtrack, right? So he's almost like a conductor, you know, instead of just a composer. But I don't think Jesper Kid does that. I think he just whatever he's contracted to do, it's all made by, you know, pretty much on his own.
It's funny how music could be like someone's signature, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's someone's identity. I remember a while ago someone let me hear, he did anime, and the hard work genius dude, he was like, do you know who's this composer? And it was the same composer that did Shadow of the Colossus. So when he showed me the anime, I instantly knew it was that dude. It's just the same person, you know. It's just weird. It's so cool. It's cool to see that everything that is you goes into everything that you do.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the most talented people, like they have, it's basically like a signature. Like they compose stuff and you know, whatever they're working on, like it's not just a rerun. Like it is a separate track. It's a different, you know, piece of music in terms of its composition, but there's still like that signature kind of imprint from the, you know, the composer.
Sometimes they're not doing it on purpose. It's just fucking manifest that way, you know. It's like basically us, like people, and the different emotions. It's still you. What the fuck's going on here?
Van.
Jesus Christ. To try and abbreviate this by going into details, basically the hardest, like, in-game in Borderlands 2 are raid bosses, right? They got a fuck ton of health, and there's kind of like a gear check, but basically there's this one boss that part of the mechanic is you turn this valve and it pours out the water and it kind of washes the shit off you, puts on you. But when you do that, some ads will spawn, right? So typically it would make the fight more difficult. However, in the case of the character I'm using, like when you kill an enemy, there's kind of like a domino effect. Whereas when you kill someone, whatever like excess damage was dealt, like that will kind of be dealt to nearby enemies. So basically, you can have like this domino effect where someone will die, and then it'll transfer to the next one, then they'll die, and then it'll keep stacking. And basically, this boss that has like an enormous amount of health, I can basically pop him like a balloon. So it's quite satisfying. So like you just get all of his ads around him, and then you kill one, and it's just and then pow, and it's just fucking, like I said, just pops like a balloon.
Just to let you know, you can do stuff like that with Ghost of Tsushima. There's these charms that you can get, and they'll say that there's a 15% chance that you have a critical hit, and you can keep stacking these fuckers. So like, you can make it like, if you could do the equation right, it'd be like half the time you hit would be like instant death, basically.
Well, it is just kind of satisfying because I tried the other bosses and I was like, this is a headache. I'm not even gonna waste my time. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this on this guy. And like when I first pulled it off, I just tried it today. I was like, holy shit, that fucking so. Yeah, but essentially, when you kill those guys, they drop this special currency, these crystals, and then basically, once you save up enough, you can take it to a vendor, and then you can, there's like a, catalog of items you can purchase. So ideally, as long as there's at least one raid boss you can kill, you can kind of access the other items through, kind of picking up that currency or whatever. So.
Did that person that called the cops on you ever came back?
Oh yeah, he's around. He just ain't near. Like he ain't close by, but Don't you fucking worry. If I get an opportunity, I'm gonna fucking pin him to the ground and just fucking call the cops. I'll set it on for 2 fucking hours.
I need to reclaim my
Fuck
castle.
that guy.
I told you Yuna would have come through.
I'm already arranging her payment.
My fucking mother you go to jail with, and she gets upset about
The
it.
Shogun's reinforcements will be here soon. Before they arrive, we must resolve a new problem. My scouts intercepted orders from the Khan, addressed to Ryuzo. His mercenaries are poised to strike our flank.
Do you know where Ryuzo is now?
Not far. Fort Koyasan. You do not have to face him yourself.
He was my friend. I will deal with him.
Do what you must. Our forces will be ready for battle when you return.
Do whatever you like. Do whatever you like. My fucking uncle does not approve of my savage ways. But he said this time, do what I must.
can't take everything.
What are you leaving behind?
More than you'll ever know.
Fucking hit the guy.
You're leaving.
Your uncle kept his word. A boat sails at dawn tomorrow.
I need your help one last time. I found Ryuzo hiding in Fort Koyasan.
I can't. Please understand. I spent my life working for this. Going to bed hungry. Risking my neck so we'd have enough money to start a new life on the mainland.
Guy's still alive.
I can't give up now.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work, but
help me defeat Ryuzo.
Flawlessly, but
I'll see you off myself.
This is your battle, Jin. Not mine. All I want, all we need is to start a new life.
I won't stop you then. Thank you, Yuna. For everything.
Still ain't good.
I hope you find peace.
You too.
My lord.
Listen to your sister, Taka. She'll take care of you.
Goodbye, Lord Sakai.
Finally. Yeah, it's really weird. It's like with this boss fight, you technically have to, like, do so much damage to break off his helmet, and then then you can actually kill him. So, I guess sometimes when the big explosion goes off, his helmet doesn't pop off. I don't know. It's really weird.
Always has a new story.
Oh yeah, I gotta show you this too. It also had that thrash dude in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. You mind if I suggest Luke? He sent me a chat invite, but it looks like he's by himself.
You know I don't care. Yesterday I was like really upset because I couldn't like see what you would tell me something, and then every time you would talk, it would like my concentration just kept leaving. You know what I mean? So view other parties. Oh, invite. They make it so ridiculous to invite somebody, man. Just, what the hell?
Oh, we gotta make it so.
What's up, Oscar?
What's going on, brother Luke?
I'm doing alright.
Going on, Wind Tunnel.
1 second.
Ouch.
Hey, you had to hear it in order for me to change it. I said you had to hear it. In order for me to change it to get the sound to glow.
What is that?
Disaster, he's an audiophile when it comes to bad microphones and excessive noises.
You know what you sound like you were about to say?
No.
He's an audiophile with propane and propane accessories.
Propane accessories. Huh?
So he's one of them.
Yeah.
I'm just sensitive to like noise. Things sound like chalkboard, like being scratched by fucking nails.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. With me, the number one thing I hate is the sound of foam. Foam gets on my nerves. I hate touching it. I hate hearing it.
Foam?
I just hate it.
Or phone?
Foam, like styrofoam.
Oh, okay.
That freaking gets on my nerves every time.
That's so weird. Everybody got their little vices. Like, I don't know. Like, I have slight damage to my right ear. It's very, very slight. I had an ear infection and it actually damaged my right ear. But that's not the reason why. But I've always been sensitive to noise. That being said, like, I also was drinking a lot of caffeine, so I was always irritable.
Yeah, he got delivered from caffeine a couple weeks ago.
I be wanting to join those little chats, Luke, but like I don't have the knowledge to do it. You know what I mean? I just have intuitive.
All it is just a bunch of grown men playing Rocket League. That's really what it is. So.
Well, it developed into that like this past month. Before it was just a bunch of old men and one woman just chilling and chatting, and it's still there, but with David there, he kind of gathered us up into Rocket League.
You know what game you should play? You should play Fall Guys.
What is that? Oh, is that new game?
Mm-hmm.
I tried playing it, but it just wouldn't connect to anything. Hey, Hellscream, I got a favor, and this is a big maybe.
You got a favor? Like you gonna offer me a favor?
Well, I need to ask for a favor.
You're such a dick.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you probably already can guess. If I'm not able to make my event tomorrow, can you help artists out with the teaching?
Yeah.
Or whatever you got. Okay.
I can wing it. So what's up with your grandmother?
I just came back from Wisconsin. It was like a 3-hour drive, but what happened with her was she was on dialysis, right? And her blood pressure was all the way up. And this happened to my dad before. If you have high blood pressure, you're not supposed to put that person on dialysis. You got to bring it down and then put them back on.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do that. So what happened, because this happened to my dad, she went unconscious on dialysis and they didn't take her off. So pretty much she flatlined on there. So they had to revive her. And right now she regained her consciousness, but because she was on the machine, we don't know what's going on. They're trying to find out if she has brain damage or what, but she gained consciousness, but they got her sedated to test her out and all that stuff right now.
Wow.
So that's pretty much what's going on. Yeah. So.
Well, you know they don't really care about black people anyway.
Don't come here with that mess.
Why? If a person's in the hospital, they should know better. These are things that they should know. You know, either it's just sheer negligence or
it's negligence. Because beforehand we had to stop them from giving her dialysis when she didn't need it, but when we left, they just put her on it because it seems like her body's rejecting it, and she doesn't really need it. But since my family is so ignorant, they just believe whatever good old doctor says. Cause I had her on some stuff that had her high blood pressure down to normal, but they didn't do the due diligence to, you know, reorder the stuff, and I didn't have the money to just keep ordering the stuff. Because it costs a decent amount. Well, it's not expensive, but I didn't just have the money to keep on doing it.
Well, just in general, black people and high blood pressure is fucking black people and chicken.
Well, those Esther, his grandmother's kind of been in and out of the hospital past month or so. So he's he's obviously speaking from experience.
Then I have to.
Yeah.
Very recent experience.
Because that's, you know, kind of what I did with my dad. My dad, he didn't flatline, but he did black out. And after that, he started, you know, listening to me and started taking the supplements to keep that down. He hasn't had a problem since. But with them, it just gets on my nerves with my family out there.
As fast as you can.
It really does.
Go. I'll make my move
now. Well, I can't comment on, you know, your situation family-wise, but I can tell you, you know, when it comes to hospitals, you know, unless I mean, they're still gonna be negligent, but like, if the money that they're putting into it, you know, ain't, you know, if they don't think it's profitable, they're gonna
kill you.
Well, that's it.
It's like Hell Pass off of South Park. Hell Pass. We're gonna help your person out. This person has a has a cut, and then like they just.
I mean, hell, they probably already labeled her as a COVID patient, so they got their 30 days. So
yeah.
I mean, I really feel like it's just a money-making operation with the COVID thing, because it's like they're not, you know, they can be really picky with who they accept them to use, you know, and then if they do accept someone, everyone's got the COVID, they get their $30,000 from the government, and then they kick them out, you know. Okay, all right, we're done with you.
Yeah, I think everybody has it because of the SARS and all that. And I remember looking at, like, early on, you know, when those doctors were coming out with information on the masking and all that stuff. Like, those masks can, like, I forgot what that doctor was that few people had on that took her down. Like, if that stuff can activate the virus, that means that we already got it. All they gotta do.
The virus is a cold virus. I mean, not cold virus, but it's related to the cold, and they're acting like it's a brand new fucking virus.
Came from outer space.
I don't know what to do with it. It's fucking related to it.
Extraterrestrial virus.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Cause my brother, he just got it, but he has no symptoms, and I know a few people now. People getting it left and right like crazy, and they have no symptoms. It's just a lot of it is just the mask activating something that's already in them, and it's not that bad in certain cases, because the flu epidemic is pretty much the same.
Like, it's not the same because it's, you know, it causes no taste and blah 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 blah. It's like, it's ridiculous. I'm fucking tired of it.
You want to bring a country down, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know. You know, do what you gotta do. You want America to be China? America be China. Donald Trump is gonna get the troops to come in your house and give you the test. Door to door. Man of God.
What was that thing I looked up? It was like, oh God, let me look at that. But I remember when I visited the Haggard Report here, this guy. Oh yeah, sponsor Republican Bobby L. Rush
666
introduced into the House. It's Bill HR 6666. Yeah, that's what it was. HR 6666. Yeah, that's who they come to your house and
the
stick a thermometer up
crypto
your bunghole.
they said that's why like T-Mobile went down a few months ago because they were secretly installing that COVID tracking app on the people's phones.
Contact tracing stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to don't know what it was called, but it was that's what they say. I'm just wondering when this whole ship gonna go down. Is it really that hard to take this country down? That's what I've been thinking.
I don't think so. I think it's like you have to look at it from like the kind of a practical, pragmatic point of view. Like if you're like, let's say you're someone like Mark Esper, you know, and you know you're when did he come from? Was it Raytheon? You know, let's say you're someone like Mark Esper, or you know you work with Raytheon, right? You make a lot of freaking money with that company by America, you know, being in war and continuously, you know, being based and positioned in all these countries around the world. You know, you want that to keep going, and then you know you want your shares in stock to go up, so you probably want to push for more war. You know, so obviously, while they're not concerned about the well-being of your average American, right? It's like they don't want it to collapse because, you know, they got a good thing going, you know, so.
If you put it that way, then.
But it's kind of like you know, it's like honor among thieves or whatever. That's probably not the right. I don't know why I said that, but it's like you got multiple parties. You know, they're kind of fighting over, you know, the kind of pile of gold, basically. You know, but it's like in the process, you know, they'll kind of end up destroying those valuables at some point. You know, so
I think it's one of them things of where, since you put that in play, we go from another angle. What if they want to keep all the assets, because we know they moved a lot of assets, you know, the Rockefellers and Yates, Google, them, they're moving it all to China. What if they just want to keep the infrastructure here without, you know, blowing it all up, but still depower the West and implement a more Soviet, you know, type system here? If you get what I'm saying. Maybe that's what it is, because that's what we're seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it's as cut and dry as it seems. It's just not. It's not how things sinister go.
Yeah, because it seems like Yuri's idea might be the way they go. They destroy it from the inside out, like destroy the system. Rather destroy all the assets in the land. And then we got all the Muslims on the other spectrum. We're not gonna waste them. Shinobi has been posting a whole lot of stuff about ISIS on his Facebook.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. I'm glad I got to talk to him.
I'm sure it wasn't too enlightening.
No, it wasn't that bad. I kind of, when he talked to me about that girl Brianna, I know he, you know, when people talk to him, you know, he can get mad, but I understood where he was coming from, because the way he put it out to me with that girl Brianna, it was pretty much she was dragging him along, like she couldn't make up her mind with this dude, and you know,
What did I say? What did I say? I said
forgot.
that he's framing it that way. Okay? But it's like, you know, unless he actually talked, like, did he actually talk to her? And then did she actually tell him that?
Well, he said he tried to talk to her after another situation happened when she went off somewhere with this dude, and he said he texted her, but she didn't respond. It was something like that.
I think he just already got his mind made up. I don't even think he's trying to talk to her, honestly.
Okay.
So I'm
Hellscream knows him longer than everybody.
Yeah, I'm 99% confident that I think he, you know, he maybe left her a voicemail or a text message and she hadn't got back to him, so he already made his mind up. Yeah, basically.
A sex message?
No. Being sarcastic. Yeah, no, he's already got his mind made up. I guarantee you. I guarantee if you actually talked to her yet. No, man, I'm trying to see, man. She get back to me or whatever. Like, he's already made his mind up. He made his mind up the moment he called and found out that, you know, he was taken off, you know. The fact that he had left the phone there and her mother picked it up, to me that tells me that, like, that guy just kind of showed up out of the blue and said, you know, hey, let's go somewhere. So, he didn't have time to grab her personal, you know,
I didn't hear that part.
He's already made money.
There's always two sides of every story, man. There's always gonna fucking be lopsided to the person that's saying it. Everybody wants to be a victim, you know.
Well, I already ranted about my conversation with him with Bill Disaster.
It's good to see.
Sweet dreams are made of victims.
So where do you post your broadcast, Duel?
YouTube lit. It's just gaming shit. I'm thinking about doing another YouTube channel for other purposes. It's gaming news, what I currently do now, but no, not the news like that. I still got to think about how I'm going to take it.
You know
I'm going to deal with it.
Yes, I made sure you'd know where to find me. The Khan wants to meet you. I'm not here to talk. You betrayed us all. We save our home together. It doesn't have to be like this. Yes, Rizal, it does.
Lord Sakai! Lord Sakai! Please, wake up!
Taka. How? You were gone so long. I knew you were in trouble. I came to help, but the Mongols caught me.
Tim, we have to get free.
They're going to kill us.
Only if we let them. Try to get loose.
One step.
Tucker, be brave.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus.
Must be thirsty. Arek. Milk from my favorite horse. The final gift to me. She broke her egg yesterday. So I fed her to my men. We do what we must, Lord Sakai. That is why you and I are both survivors.
I am samurai.
No, you are more than that. You are the ghost. Convince your people to join me, and I will give them peace.
We will never serve you.
Your uncle said the same thing when I asked him to end this war.
He refused to be your slave.
I too have pride in family. And I know what it's like to
Yeah.
live in their shadow.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Why should we settle for scraps when we deserve to be legends?
He is a legend.
See? Your people will follow you. Join me and save them.
What level you are on Borderlands? You've been playing that game for the last 2 months, man. It gotta be fun.
2 months.
Not us.
Not that long. Well, I bought a bundle, so I got 3 games in one.
You're a
So.
legend.
Okay.
Does not even care about you.
No, I've been playing. I played the first game for about a week, and the second game there's a lot more content. But so like they originally the level cap was 50, and then they bumped it up to like 60, and then 70, and then 80. So I'm at the level cap now. So, but there's still plenty of stuff to do.
I really wish I had the time to play that Metro game, because it's real fun. Just haven't had the time to dive into it like I want to. So I've been playing Rocket League and
I mean, I thought you've been playing Rocket League.
Either that, yeah. But pretty much all I've been doing, I've been playing multiplayer games in order to recruit for these stupid events. Kinda.
Now I must find another.
If I can get artists and Gundam, somebody else to help out with the recruiting, you know, efficiently, maybe I can get back into that the way I want to. But right now, I guess, you know, the best I can do is grind.
Grind them gears. Grind them gears.
You already know. Yeah, but pretty much from the way it seemed, from the opportunities I have, like if I stay consistent with this, like one of my partners, well, business partners, with the organization I work with, I talked to him 2 weeks ago. And he saw some of my videos, while I showed him some of my videos that I was doing, like, on my biblical presentations, like, he said maybe he could shop my stuff around. Not like shop it around, but since he's a part of Turning Point, the chair, maybe he could try to make it go a little viral.
What video are you doing?
You know, like the events we're doing. Because I recorded a few of our events already.
Essentially, well, he hasn't really explained it, but from what I have gathered, Basically, what Luke is trying to do is he's trying to take these open-ended conversations that he is kind of hosting, and then basically kind of record that and then platform it somewhere. So,
Yeah.
What videos is it?
Of our conversation. Let me pull one up. Well, I only did one successfully. Like, when I put it on Facebook, it was crap, but the recording of it was better since it wasn't live. But the first one we did, it went up good. I had almost 200 people listen to it, but it only had my recording. So the following one, I had Gundam to help.
Oh yeah, so you got, I don't know if you know this or not, Luke, but not, like you have to get, like my voice is shared, but you have to make sure in your share settings that your voice is shared and you allow party chat to be shared when you do those recordings or when you stream. Otherwise, it won't. It's turned off by default. So you have to manually activate that.
Yeah. That's kind of why I asked you, because you know that kind of
yeah. But
made
also
me feel like
even
crap.
if you share party chat, like people who are participating, they have to hit. Well, it's really simple. You just hit you just hit the share button, and then you go to sharing and broadcasting settings. And then under there's audio share settings, and then you can click, like, do I want my voice to be shared? You know, do I want to share my party chat? You know, stuff like that. So, but even if you do all that, like, individuals like myself, like, we still have to permit our voice to be shared on our own, you know, on our own account settings. So mine is, but, you know, the others may not be so.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the other thing is, like, I had to do it for both of my accounts because the way I do it, and you can probably do this too, Duel, if you want to include other people. I did some video research on it. You download the remote play on there, and if you have like a laptop, because you don't need a video capture card, I have one, but I don't feel the need to do that with the remote. I do that, download the remote play on both the TV as well as my PlayStation as well as my laptop. But you need 2 controllers and you need a secondary account. And what you do is, with your secondary account, you log into it on your remote play, and you do the exact same settings, you know, that Hellstone was talking about on your other account. And pretty much, you know, you can video record the, you know, the chat and all that stuff from there if you want to go that route. Like, if you don't want to be in the party, or you want people to see this person talking, that person talking, because that's kind of how I do. Like, whoever's talking, I highlight their profile, not go into it, but just hover over it so they know this person is talking.
And how do you do that again?
You have to download the remote play app on your PS4, and you have to put it on your laptop. And the way I have it, let me look at my settings so I can tell you how I got it. Because I had to tweak it a few times with Gundam, because I have Gundam to watch my Facebook. I had to stream it to Gundam from Facebook. We had to tweak it around. Let's see. Sound and devices. I know I had to go down. Audio devices. Headset connection to controller. Okay, yeah. But pretty much when I did it, it came out like this with the party. Just give me a second.
I was thinking about if I do another type of YouTube video is gonna be about my life, story time, basically.
A day in the life.
Albie, what's up? Those dudes successful. A lot of
Man, your PS4 is going crazy, man.
No, that's my actual fan. Unless you want to hear it, you know, the time.
I think that's your PS4, dude.
Yeah, you right.
That's my fan. I know that sounding from anywhere. That's why I can't wait for the PS5, man. We don't have to deal with this shit.
If it ever comes out.
Don't worry, it's coming. You hear about Halo being delayed?
That got delayed. Freaking
it makes
Vampire Bloodlines got delayed again. Which I ain't even surprised. That game was so fucking janky.
Alright, so let me see. Make sure it's not too loud.
Delayed.
It makes sense with all this controller virus going around. But
No.
This is pretty much how it came out. Miss Whiskers just talking.
No. The West trade. No. It'll make it work out in your favor. Leviticus, you know, when it comes to dealing with lepers.
But pretty much I'm using like my computer mic, you know, with this. I'm not using my, like I can use my PS4 mic, but since I wanted to sound a little bit louder on the stream, I kind of muted, you know, that one.
Brother Luke.
This is what it's going to be. I do not change my mind. I do not lie to you. I am not man. I will not be man.
That guy, man, there was so much I wanted to say to him, man, but like, get so many people in the chat. It was like, no, I ain't bothered.
Screwed up and
yeah, that guy has given me problems in the past.
Change his mind and create Christianity.
Well, I mean, he's not an asshole. I mean, he's sincere in terms of what he believes. It's just that freaking Hellslayer guy. Oh my god!
You shouldn't have made him die.
Oh, I got him.
I'm about to roll out my bedroom, roll out the house. Listen to that guy talk.
So that is his goal: is to destroy as many people as he can. But really quick, I did want to add to.
Snake made me mad, man. I'm like, didn't we go through this yesterday about
what did Snake do?
You remember he brought up the guard? You remember I told him if I was the other dude, I would have ate him alive.
Not leaving him.
Oh yeah.
He brought that pre-Adamite stuff and sin, and I've been like, well, that makes God unfair because God punished mankind that was already here for one man's sin.
You know, David Australian made a mistake that I wanted to kind of correct him on, but I'll save it for later.
Yeah.
Because when he was replying to not that guy but the CPO dude, like he was saying that, like, you know, how did he say? He said like God didn't make man perfect or whatever. And I just started shaking my head. I was like, David, bro, David, let
What does he mean by that?
No, like, okay, so in a nutshell, Joshua, like, what was really being discussed was, like, you have these people that they can't comprehend, like, how is it that you can have a perfect being, right, which is God, and that he creates humanity. And for him to be, like, all-powerful, he would have to, you know, when he would create something, it would have to be complete and perfect, right? It wouldn't be, like, faulty machinery. And they couldn't comprehend, like, how could a humanity in the beginning be created perfect, right? And, like, basically do something, you know, against God's will, or fail, or sin, or not be righteous, or whatever.
Did I answer?
They instinctively think that mankind must be flawed, but they're confusing it sounds sophisticated, but it's not. Essentially, you have the construction, the structure of humanity, as in it pertains to creation, but like free will, they're not mutually exclusive. Like you can do things that God does not approve of, right? Like Satan himself, he was created perfect in his day, yet he still rebelled against God. So did he do that because he's flawed? There's faulty machinery? The answer is no. It's that free will it's not mutually exclusive to something being created perfect by a perfect God, right?
Yeah.
Like
did I answer it correctly when I told him like what did I say? I have
dude,
to look it
I
up.
don't even remember, Luke, man. There were like 9 people talking.
Pretty much what I said was because I answered Tusk because Snake. I forgot what David said, and I remember I disagreed with it. But it's like you said, God is the one that brought imperfection in from the sense of cursing man not allowing them to have life or partaking in that. But that was all subject to the sin of Adam and Eve disobeying God in a sense. That's kind of how I put it.
Adam and Eve were created perfect in their day. The thing is that due to Satan, you know, through his deception, he got Eve to, you know, eat of the forbidden fruit, and then Adam, you know, he had sinned knowingly. The point is that, you know, they were perfect, but through their wrong choice, through their iniquity, right? They made themselves unperfect.
Yeah.
Okay? So free will and perfection, those two things are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, because
wouldn't you be flawed? Wouldn't you be flawed if you make the wrong decision?
No.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
No, because this is how it works, right? God made everything perfect, but you gotta understand His will. His will is for people to worship Him in spirit and truth. He wants His creation to love Him. He didn't create us as robots. So if you want, you know, people to have free will and to love you freely, the option to disobey God has to be there. The option has to be there. And if you decide to do that, you know, you can rebel. Even though He didn't create it, you know, sin, you can rebel and go against it.
Back.
It's like the absence of light is darkness. You know, God is light. There's no darkness in Him. So free will, if you have God's order, to have free will means that you go against God's order.
Let me ask you a question. Your microphone, right?
Loud.
Not the sound effects. It's just that your volume is like way loud. Is it? Can you adjust it on the system itself?
Yeah, you gotta give me like a minute, cause
you know how to do it, right?
Yeah. But you get what I was saying.
The thing about no, I'm only playing devil's advocate so you guys can know, because those people that you speak to is kind of unsavory for me to listen to. The reason why is because they think they know it all. I mean, on one side of the fence, they are, you know, they are, you know, they believe in God and everything like that. The other side of the fence is like they're so hard-headed, they don't want to think anything else.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
It's nothing wrong with a person. Like, I mean, I know Erykah Badu is
that
probably
girl's wicked.
Yeah, she says this thing, right? And listen, you, however way the information is given, you know, you take it as is. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's true. So essentially, she says
and we already heard this before. It's not just her. It's just it's a statement in general. But if a smart man knows that he knows nothing at all, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what the Bible says.
Right. When you start parading yourself around like you're on to something and don't allow yourself to be open to, you know, to be open to
sound better?
Where are you turning your mic down from?
I just did.
Where are you turning it down from? The headset or the PlayStation 4?
PlayStation.
You probably gotta turn it down several notches. Like, you're already loud and clear. It's just that it sounds like you're at max.
I'm not.
Now that's like good. Right there is good.
A third down.
Right there is good.
Alright, what were you saying?
Yeah, you're right. So it says that, you know, it says that in the Bible. It's just that when people are hard-headed and people want to know things, and again, when God made everything, He made everything perfect. And it's hard. It's a hard concept, even for Christians. It's a hard concept for people to grasp. Knowing that, what do you call it? I'll go there again. I didn't go there. Go here. All right, cool. Excuse me. It's a hard concept to grasp that in order for one thing to exist, you need another. Because why else would He create it? You know what I mean? Let me ask you a question. I think I asked this to Hellscream before. Did God create evil?
No.
And why do you say that?
Because He's all good.
Creating something and being something is not exclusive to each other.
It depends on how you put it. Like, you can say yes to that in the sense of He created all things, but since, you know, evil is the substance of rebellion of God's order, you know, he didn't create evil in that sense.
So by one extension, by creating one thing,
yeah, the
other one was created.
Yeah.
Because that's contradictory.
No.
If He created everything, then He had to have created evil.
But I agree with that, but I'm saying, like, did He with purpose? Like, yeah, he
no, absolutely. That's the point that I'm trying to make. If He did create everything, and if evil was one of those things that He created with purpose, if He didn't create evil or everything, then you wouldn't have a choice. Nothing would have a choice. And a lot of this stuff is beyond our understanding as to why things are.
I think we can't understand it all, but I think the principle is God wants He wants His creation to, you know, love Him by their own free accord, not by force in a sense. I think that's the...
Well, that's the thing. So, if someone gives you a choice, you know what I'm saying? Then it's totally up to you on what you want to do. That's your decision. And besides, you can't have something without the other. You know what I mean? How would you know what hot is without cold? You wouldn't be able to differentiate hot and cold. I mean, hot from cold. If hot just exists, or if cold just exists. They both have to exist. They both complement each other. They have to exist to give purpose to each other.
I'm
not saying with evil. Like I say, it's a complicated situation. The reason why I brought that up is quite frankly what the guy has said. He says that man is flawed, right?
Mm-hmm.
By extension, that can't be, because he ultimately gave us a choice to do, to make that decision on what we want to do. You making a decision of being negative is your decision. That don't mean that you are. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's you decided to choose that. It don't mean that you have it in you. You give, basically your decisions give birth to. It changes you. If you don't want to do evil things, you know what I'm saying? Then inherently you're not evil. But again, it's a very complicated situation. It's not really complicated on a localized study. If you're a Christian, the bottom line is this: if you love God, and that's the end of it. You know what I mean? If you love God, you follow His word.
Wrap it up. Yeah, it only gets complicated if you want to go against, what the Bible says about. Wrap it up.
So let me ask you something, Hellscream, because Hellscream is very analytical when it comes to this. Sometimes.
Analytical. Mm-hmm.
Nope. So, my question to Luke was, did God create evil?
No.
He created everything, though.
The God of the Bible, yes, He is the creator, as in all things that were either created by Him directly or are a byproduct or a, like with children, right? Part of, the creation itself in terms of what kind of comes after at that point in time. The thing that people get caught up on is that if God has foreknowledge, right, that doesn't mean predestination, okay? That's one thing. Predestination and foreknowledge are not mutually exclusive. But if God in His knowledge knows that, okay, if I create these beings, if I create humanity in my image, right, for mankind to be created in God's image, they have to exhibit the qualities of God. They have to exhibit the attributes, like, things like love, compassion, right? But they also have to exhibit something like free will. The God of the Bible, has a free will. He can do whatever He wants to. Okay? So for mankind to be made in the image of God, they have to exhibit those attributes. Otherwise, we would just be autonomous robots. Now, the thing is that even though mankind was created perfect in the beginning, because man is not infinite like the God of the Bible is, it is well within the realm of possibilities that Adam and Eve could make a choice that God would not approve of, or He Himself would not choose with His infinite knowledge.
Well, pause for a minute. We would have been, we would have lived forever if it wasn't for that, that mistake. Is that
true,
not
yes.
correct?
Well,
we were eternal beings. Adam and Eve were eternal beings before the fall.
That's when the imperfection comes into place. Because they sinned, God first he cursed the ground and told them that if you eat of this tree, this day you will surely die. So that's when, in a sense, sin came in. The Bible says, before sin came, there was no death. So it's perfection until sin came. And that wasn't because of, no physical, choice. That was a spiritual choice in the sense of them rebelling against God, because God doesn't want creatures disobeying him in a sense. That's why the Bible puts it out like this, and this is what I was trying to say. He allows everything to play out, you know, through his foreknowledge, not predestination. Only thing predestined is through Christ, you know, we're saved. But he said he's going to allow the wheat and the tares to grow together. So if you believe in him, if you follow him, if you live in obedience to him, you know, you're going to have everlasting life. If you don't, you're just going to get burned up and killed, because God is, you're his creature, you're his creation.
Well, you have to understand, like,
he do whatever he wants.
You have to understand the other than just God, you know, he is a God of creation, so he likes to create things. That's reason number one. Number two is for fellowship, right? Number three, which, well, I guess 2 and 3 are kind of the same, is that, you know, God decided, you know, that he wanted to have this species called humanity to, it's like a big family, right? It's not that he needs us, it's that, you know, in his love, he wants to have a family that he can fellowship with, and that humanity can, you know, as intended, which will be fulfilled, that we are to be the viceroys of creation. So while God is the ultimate ruler, mankind, we are his kind of stewards, right? We help look after,
at the end of the day, we don't know entirely what he's doing. You know, I mean, he's not hiding his intentions. I'm not saying that, but there's.
Well, the Bible tells us after Christ reigned for 1,000 years, you know, he comes down, judges mankind, judges the angels, and then God the Father himself comes back down and dwells with us forever and ever, brings everything back to that perfect state, you know, as, you know, back to the Garden of Eden, but with all of his creation, with mankind.
What I'm getting at is, sorry, I just want to get this out real quick. Look, is that what I'm getting at, Joshua, is that for mankind to fulfill its role as viceroy, as God intended, we have to be able to exhibit those attributes. This ties into the free will thing. So for us to be viceroys with God, to be good stewards, to rule over and look over creation with him, for him, we have to be able to facilitate, you know, those qualities and those powers that he himself has. Obviously, we can't exhibit it to the infinite that he can. But knowing that, you know, with that possibility, God still felt like, you know, it would be better to, you know, give man the option to make his own choice, and in that possibility make choices that he would not approve of. It's like with the origin of Satan. You know, Satan was created perfect in his day, right? But in Isaiah it says, yet pride was found in you. Okay, that he himself decided, hey, you know, why should I be, you know, this super powerful, you know, this super angel in heaven, you know, where I have such a domain and I'm like, you know, a commanding officer. You know, why be that when I can be like God? You know, why settle for that when I can have more? So it's very clear that when you look at Ezekiel 28 and Isaiah 14, that Satan consciously makes the decision, okay, to rebel against, you know, the order that God's had and that he has established in heaven. So
my thing is this: you can't mix up what the word everything is. My question to you is, what did he create everything? Yeah. You can't say that he didn't create everything, you know, with this asterisk. I mean, oh, he did, but with this asterisk. It's either he did or he didn't. And in the Bible, it says that he's the creator of all things. Is that not correct?
Well, yes, in that he is the creator, so yes, that he is responsible for its existence, because obviously if he didn't create the angels or mankind, then, you know, he would be the only being that would exist, and you know, there would be no mortals or people to, you know, make that decision, right, to do evil or commit evil. So, Yes, indirectly, yes, he is responsible.
But it seems, but that's not. But you can't have an indirectly thing. Him himself creating it. That's he. In the Bible, does it not say that he created everything, which is that's the verb, not indirectly, but created everything.
It is indirect in a sense. He didn't have the intent to create evil. It's a byproduct of a free will choice to go against what he created. Like he created.
To me, that's playing with words.
No, it's not. He is responsible ultimately for evil existing, but evil is not. It is not a direct creation of God. It is a byproduct, as Luke stated. It is a byproduct of the existence of free will, and that being given and gifted to his creation.
He didn't say, "Oh, let me create some evil today." Nah.
No, I'm not. See, you guys, that's not what I'm referring to. To me, and this is what happens with a lot of Christians. I feel like this is one of those things where, I mean, you guys make the statement as if you absolutely know that's the thing. Where does it say with this caveat? Where is it at?
It's not a special caveat we're making up in our head. We're taking.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
We're taking what is actually in the Bible and explaining it.
Exactly. Where is it? That it says that he indirectly created this. Where is it? Where is it at?
There is no scripture that specifically says this. Okay, if that's what you're asking.
The Bible says he's all good, so
you can create something and that not be indicative of who you are.
I think you're redefining what we mean by byproduct. We're saying he created evil in the sense of...
No, you're saying that he's allowing you to manifest evil.
No, we
for free
never
will.
Said that. Free will is the byproduct. Alright. Free will is the byproduct of evil in the sense. Because the choice is there to obey God or disobey God. That's all it is. Disobeying God.
So who created these choices? I mean,
God did.
So he did create the option, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? What do you think? What are you thinking, Terry?
Well, you're. See,
yes or no? Yes or no?
It's not a yes or no, because what you said, the way you're framing it, you're saying who created these choices, meaning that the choices we have are already predetermined, which that's not the case.
No.
So,
just because the choices exist doesn't mean that it's deciding for you. It just means that the options are there for you. If I presented you with a car, do you want the fair lady? Do you want the fair lady? Or do you want the Corvette? I didn't prejudge that. You have the decision to make that. That's your decision.
We're not disagreeing with that.
But you're asking me a rhetorical question, saying that am I a robot? You know, I know the answer to that.
The robot part is the intent of the option being there. Free will.
No, I'm aware of that, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get an answer with. Not that, oh, well, there's a caveat to it. He really kind of didn't, but he did, but he didn't really.
We didn't say that. What we said is he created...
You said indirectly, meaning that he didn't mean to? Like, what does that even mean?
It's a byproduct of free will.
That's why I use the word responsible. Ultimately, he is responsible for its existence.
Why use the word ultimately? What is that? What is that?
It's the full picture of the whole story, in a sense.
So, I guess, to be very clear, because we're probably not going to figure this out, but to be clear, did he create everything with the intention of free will?
Well, I mean,
I don't know why that's so difficult to answer, though. I don't get it.
No, I mean, with the intention of free will, I mean, yes, he created beings such as humanity and the angels to possess the function of free will. So now, you know, that the intention of free will, I don't know if that's the way to word it, but obviously, like things like animals, you know, there's a certain level of consciousness that we have that they don't. So did he intend for these beings to have free will like humanity? Yeah, because as I expressed, man is created in the image of God. To be in his image, you have to exhibit the qualities that he has as a being.
All right. So let me ask you this then, because it's like I'm saying something sacrilegious, and I'm not. That's not my intention of actually saying it. Is evil the opposite of good? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I agree on that.
Is hot the opposite of cold?
Mm-hmm.
Can you have hot without cold?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to the equator. You know, it's more and more year round.
No, but in this universe, there exists other things to, you know,
Not everything is yin yang, you know, opposites.
Give me an example of what isn't.
Well, like, it's like what you said, hot and cold. Like, if you go to the sun, is it going to be any cold because of that element? But if you take the sun away, you're going to have cold.
No,
It depends. Let me finish. It depends on the element and how it's, you know, placed.
And the universe, in this entire universe,
it doesn't have to be there. If you remove that, you know, then you're gonna have all cold. If it's there, you're gonna have, you know, hotness there. It depends on the order and what it's set. It doesn't work in every situation.
That's in the universe. Just because you're taking away a sun doesn't mean that it doesn't exist in the universe. There's other hot things, hot bodies, celestial bodies in the universe. Just because you removed it from here doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
But that's the, you know, the sense of the yin yang, or, you know, that element is that it's a automatic balancing in a sense. But biblically, that balance, you know, doesn't exist. You have God's order, where he sets things in order and in place. And you have disorder, where you go against that order. So the sun or heat and all that is set into place because God put it there in that way.
My order and disorder is the opposite of each other.
Disorder is going against God's order.
I mean, like at the very base of the
there's no
of the
balance.
meaning.
It's just going.
So you're telling me that there's absolutes where you can't, balance doesn't exist. The thing is, in this universe which he created, that's the law of the thing that he created. There's this yin and yang situation that he created. In order to have everything spinning in it. I'm not saying that you said it, I'm saying it.
Does that work with arithmetic? 1 + 1 = 2?
You can't have, it does.
How?
You can't have something from nothing. You gotta have something that can hold on.
That's the law of causality. You need something outside of that element to still be a cause that's not affected by it.
You ain't gonna say anything about this theory at all?
No, yeah, I get plenty to say, of course. I'm just multitasking. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Okay, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the angle that you're coming from is you feel that there's this law that God created where you simply cannot have one without the other. So to have good, you must have evil, and vice versa. When that kind of goes into Eastern mysticism and stuff like that. Like,
well, we're not talking about
Adam,
because again, I'm not saying that I believe in no Eastern mysticism or anything like that. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying you're believing it. I'm saying that's where that mentality comes, where for one thing to exist, there must be an equal and opposite for it to coexist. And the thing is that structure is false, because God in the beginning, okay, He was, and there was nothing else. Okay, everything that exists is He has created it. So if there was only God at one point in the space-time continuum, then at one time there was only a being that was good and righteous and nothing else. So that right there shows you that good and righteousness can exist and does not need an equal opposite, whatever, to actually be permitted to exist. So, because that's what it sounds like to me, with the way you're kind of structuring the thing.
You know me for a while, right? My situation is this. Even if you go and look at it at that angle, God is outside of the universe. The rules to this universe does not apply to him. And we're in this universe, built in and intrinsically working in it.
I agree with that.
There's a lot of things that doesn't apply to God because he created something. It's like a programmer. You playing the video game now that you're playing, right?
Yes, sir.
There's things that in that video game world that does not apply to the person who created that whole programming. That was whatever that's going on in that video game world was the intention of that creator.
Nope. You still have bugs and glitches.
Well, that's because we're not, what is it, omnipotent?
Well, we're not at the PS5 and shit. So.
Yeah, the PS5 is still...
I'll leave all that PS5 talk to you, yeah.
I only mention this stuff because I don't know. And I don't think a lot of people know either. The thing is, these are questions that a lot of atheists would ask, and this is the questions that they would come up with. And I would say us being like Christians, or being Christians, we gotta kind of be able to combat that.
We do.
Because again, they're gonna go straight. They're gonna go straight off of logic.
It ends in a cycle. It's the same old thing.
Say that one more time. Something blew up.
Same old. It ends up in a cycle of, understanding that, things, happen, and God allows things to play out because He loves us and He wants us, to freely choose. And that's the simple answer. Like, why did God create Satan when He could have done away with him?
These are questions that do you have the answer to that? Why did He create him?
Yeah, free will. Would it be free will if God just did away with Satan?
I mean, here's the thing, right? Yeah, I mean, it would be free will. He made his decision, and you reap what you sow. That's another thing that God said as well.
That's not free will, because that's kind of like the Minority Report. Like, the Bible said God requires what is past. So He requires...
Oh, no, you talking about... Oh, I'm saying... so what I'm saying, I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is that if he started to act up, just eliminate him. That's what I'm saying. Not eliminate him before he gets there.
Well, that's the thing. Like, biblically, that's what the Day of Judgment is there for. So there's a...
But why allow us to suffer the way that we are? You know what I mean? And for what reason? When you already know, like he knows, like
a lesson in eternity, in a sense, to appreciate, goodness and righteousness and, love, because everybody suffers. Every single person suffers.
You have to look at it like this. God is able to capitalize on any situation. Okay, and he's able to take the the fall of Adam and Eve and the curse that came upon mankind, and he's able to work that towards good. So, for example, if Adam and Eve never would have failed, we never would have experienced things like the concept of redemption, salvation, forgiveness, mercy, grace. Those things we would never experience because if they didn't, if they didn't fall for Satan's trick, that we would just live forever, and those concepts would be foreign to us.
Or being poor, and then working hard, and then finally fucking, understanding. So here's another thing. I still think what we talked about is inconclusive, but I don't think there's a situation where it's I'm not saying it's not known for us. It's just beyond our understanding. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Some things you just gotta take by faith in a sense, because the Bible gives us, the answer. It's love, salvation because of the fall.
That's the main. That's the main thing. Like that's all we need to really.
The Bible says this, with people. In 1st or 2nd Timothy chapter 3, it's going to be people that's going to be forever learning, never able to come to the truth because they just don't want to believe the truth. They want an answer that's not there, or they cannot attain.
Terry and I know that. Terry and I know those kind of people.
Yeah. So, like, I can't, me and Terry, we can't answer every question because sometimes they make unanswerable questions.
Well,
that don't apply.
It's just
there's
like
answers for it, but we may not be
here.
able to grasp it like properly.
No, it's just like the conversation we're having here. Like, half of my brain power is trying to assess, like, the kind of terms of what Joshua means when he's saying what he's saying. Like that's the challenge, because when people get into this kind of conversation or debate or argument, is people don't clearly define their terms as in what they're saying and what they mean. Like, obviously I know that Joshua is not coming from the standpoint of, oh, God is responsible for creating evil, that's why he's an asshole, that's why he doesn't exist. I know he's not coming from that from that position, right? But just the language and how we communicate, like, that can kind of offend people or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
No, because look, you don't know me, you don't know me that well, but Terry does, so he knows where I'm coming from in terms of what I'm trying, well, I think I'm being very clear as to what I'm saying. Like I said before, if I created a video game, it would be my rules as to what it. You kind of, when you create something, it has to work and it has to be laws and stuff like that to make it work, so it won't implode on in itself. So I do think that, me personally, I do think that there is a type of yin and yang situation with the universe, because it's like a clock, basically. Everything is working. You have your decay and your creation in this universe. That happens all the time, everywhere. So it's just always this sort of duality. I'm not saying that evil is going to overtake God at all. That's not what I'm saying, because again, God doesn't exist in our universe. He's outside of the universe. He created it. So it's his rules as to what's going on. My next question is, do you believe that we will remember things after we are born again? Or I shouldn't say born again. After the world is destroyed and rebuilt.
I do, but back to the first point, I still don't believe in the yin and yang. What I'm saying, God does have his set laws in order, but it doesn't mean it has to be a balance. Like, not everything. It doesn't have to be good for evil, because biblically evil is going to be done away with. And not all laws. You don't need, heat for there to be cold, in a sense. You know, I get what you're saying, but it doesn't apply with everything yin and yang.
Well, I will say this. Nothing will have meaning if you don't have anything to interpret it, essentially.
Well,
it could be whatever if there's nothing there, which is a form of a quantum
The reason why a lot of people say that is because we see people do good and people do bad. Like, if you can do a good choice or bad choice, but with God, He always makes the right choice.
I'm not saying that God doesn't make the right choice. I think He does make it
all the... But that's what I'm applying to us as human beings. Since we have the choice to do against what God's order is, a lot of people confuse that with it being a balance. Because if you make a string of, you know, good choices, is that balance when you make one bad choice, or does that bad choice throw everything off? Because that's what we see in this reality. It's not a balance, because if it was balanced, you know.
What do you mean exactly? Can you explain that a little bit more?
Like equality of, you know, of good choices and bad choices, evil and good. Light and dark.
We are in a universe. I'm sorry, we're in a world that is saturated with flaws that we brought on ourselves. So that doesn't apply. That we didn't shut up. You know what I mean? We did that to ourselves. This is as humans. We messed up.
Okay, so
it created this.
Because I'm gonna ask you a question. With the state of the world,
I'm saying that the Earth is going to be destroyed in 58 or 53. What is it? 53.8 days. What did it say in Horizon?
Yeah. But with the state of the world, you know, is it balanced in a sense?
No, because evil is fucking everything up, basically.
All right. I just want to make that clear. I'm trying to see where you're coming from.
The thing is, because you remember in Horizon Zero Dawn, right? I know.
I ain't played that game.
Yeah, no, I'm actually talking to Terry, and I explain it. It always comes back to Horizon Zero Dawn. So the thing is that since the imbalance happened in Horizon Zero Dawn, which I'll explain it, the system is going to basically break down. And that's what we're experiencing now, because of the imbalance.
Entropy. That's the word you're looking for. Okay.
State of decay, right term.
So basically, in Horizon Zero Dawn, there is a system that was supposed to self-govern everything.
Facetious.
Right.
Sorry.
There was a system that was supposed to, like, you know, self-govern and everything, and one part of that system got messed up, and it can still function, but it's going to eventually just completely break down, which is probably the reason why God has to create everything again. He's to destroy it and do it over. I don't know. I didn't create everything, but
you're right, because the Bible does say that the world's going to decay, God's going to take over and rebuild everything. How the Bible puts it.
Well, I figure, to me, it's like I said before, because this creation is destroyed by us. We did it, and now it has. I mean, I guess we're going to keep that memory. You know what I mean? Keep our memories and our experiences as what we dealt with for the people that were saved. Because you know, there's nothing beats experience. You can't just be told to do or not to do something.
There's always gonna be a flaw in the system.
Who said that? What's going on, Darkman?
Gonna be overweighed by all the goodness that we experience. That the Bible says that He will wipe away every tear from our eyes. So we're probably gonna remember all the sorrows. We're probably gonna see a lot of our loved ones go to hell and all that stuff. But God is going to comfort us and wipe it away, and we're going to enjoy paradise. And in a sense, because God's judgment is going to be fair, you know, amongst all souls.
And
So
plus we are judged too. Like again, I have a friend, right? And I appreciate you listening to this, man. Dark Mauler. My friend complains a lot about how life has shitted on him. He just doesn't understand why it's just everything is collapsing over him. So here's a snippet in his 36 to 37 years, right? As to what kind of a person he is, right? Whatever happened, we worked together. Whatever happened in the job that we worked together in, he decided, I don't want to work here anymore. I'm going to find another job without even doing some sort of testing to see if it was a good job or not. You know what I mean? He up and left. And his decision, and we told him, I don't think you should just leave. I think that you should really see if do some research. Oh, I got it. He left this job, went to the other one, and got fired. And he got fired. There's two layers to this. He got fired because he doesn't like to be told what to do. And he is automatically defiant. You try to tell him something, and he ignores it because it demeans him. Or belittles him because he wants to have that kind of control and power. So because he lost his job, he was paying monthly payments on a car, and because he lost it, now he lost that car too, and then had the nerve to say, woe is me, why does life treat me this way? Like, if whatever happens to this dude, I can't feel sorry for him. I get it, I do feel bad, but that was your decision, dude. You did that to yourself. You know what I mean? And I feel like this probably was going to happen when we are saved and got, and removed from this shitty ass place. And you see the loved ones. We'd be able to kind of identify, like, listen, this dude clearly, or this person clearly.
I love hearing these talks. Sorry to interrupt, LOL.
Clearly.
No, it's cool. I'm thinking about making a channel specifically for these kind of thought-provoking things. Because as a Christian, I feel like, and this is the thing that I used to ask pastors and preachers and stuff like that, and they were never able.
Faith, man.
They were never.
Have faith.
They were. But they didn't even try to like critically think, and I'm not saying to question God. That's not what I'm saying. But there are going to be people that's going to challenge you, but they're not challenging you because they are just being assholes. They challenge them because they don't know. Like, what makes you have the faith that you have? You know what I'm saying? If we talk to an atheist, this conversation probably blow his mind. I'm pretty sure. Because this is something that a typical Christian wouldn't really do, is to critically think and not be so far up his ass and think that we are holier than thou. Those people that you are in that chat room with, Luke, are those people.
Well, kind of what we were talking about here is kind of what we did, there. But it's
because, like you said about the guy, he goes and he says, "Oh, God created flawed beings." Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, someone who's part of our group, this guy David, when he was making a rebuttal to this non-believer, he kind of went along and he was like, "Oh yeah, God made man flawed or not perfect or something along those lines." And I was just kind of shaking my head. I was like, David.
Did you make that sound effect from Metal Gear Solid when you picked the wrong thing? You got it wrong. Got it wrong, dude.
Like it's a very deep conversation, argument, and like it provokes a lot of deep thought. But it's, as a Christian, all you got to do is you got to look at what's in the Bible, And if you just read what's there, or not the whole thing, just relevant passages, and you can kind of see the who is God, what is his function, what is he capable of, and what is his character. Okay, and by looking at that, you can with critical thinking, you can logically deduce, like, if X is Y, then Y is Z, and Z is X, and E is B, and you know what I mean, and like that kind of conversation of, well, if God is a good God, why does evil exist? Blah blah blah, all that stuff. Like, there are answers there. It's just people don't know how to like assess the question, and a lot of it's just biblical illiteracy, basically.
Like, we wouldn't need, like, as Christians, we don't need to know this necessarily, because we already we know the character of God himself. You know what I'm saying? Because we read it, basically. But a lot of times people they will ask, what makes you so sure? What makes you this? You know what I'm saying? Why you're so stupid for being a Christian? Because you're just you're believing in an invisible man and shit like that.
Stupid.
And somebody gotta, like, and that's the thing. Sometimes you gotta hit these niggas with logic.
Oh, yeah, I knew it was coming.
I know. The whole thing is, there is an order to things. It's logical things. And I'm not even talking about, like, the creator or evil or nothing. That's not what I'm saying. Just in general, this universe and law works in a certain way. And sometimes people need to see it, like, on that logical level. And we need to be ambassadors for that. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be spreading the word anyway. But, like, we got to do it right. You just can't tell everybody, oh, just believe. Just believe. Look what happened to me. So God gave me a car. That doesn't register. You know what I mean? Some people don't care about that. Some people already have a car and still miserable. Or have a house and still miserable. Or some people just have inquisitive minds. Like, I don't know what's going on. But this thing, like, if you look at science, you can't have something from nothing in this universe. That doesn't mean that God is not in this universe. He created it. And that's his order of things. That's how he made things to be. So everything that we can say in this universe doesn't even apply to him. And a lot of people that are Luciferians believe that whole yin-yang thing, evil is equal as good. And it's not. Because, again, everything that is good is in the universe. But furthermore, God is not a part of this universe. He didn't build it with him in it. You know what I mean? So, like, evil is definitely inferior to good. But some people get it twisted because you living in this universe too long. You know what I mean? You're like, it looks to be that way. So I think Lucifer, the devil, could be equal to God. He don't want us to know it, or whatever the case is. There's people that think that way too, which is ridiculous.
You don't want to know it. He's hiding it.
He's hiding it because he knows that, if we were to find out that we are gods as well.
We are gods. You're a god. I'm a god.
People get it mixed up. We are in his likeness, but not God's. There's a massive distinction.
Well, okay, so I'll send it to you if I can find it, and then because it's something you want to. It's not very long, but it's something you want to read, like when you're not multitasking. But I read it to Luke and our kind of Christian crowd, and there's actually a passage in the Bible. It's in the book of Samuel, but essentially you have an event where God has foreknowledge of what is happening, situation. However, even though he has foreknowledge of what is transpiring, okay, something different takes place. So that shows you that though God had foreknowledge of something that was going on and something that was coming, right, or was determined, something different had happened. So you actually have the example of God having foreknowledge of an event that did not take place. So passages like that show you that yes, God has foreknowledge of all things that could potentially happen, but that does not mean that for Him to have foreknowledge, it has to be predestined. Those are not mutually exclusive. And that's where people that's where they just kind of conjoin the two. Well, if God knew this, then that means it was predestined, right? That's where you get Calvinism and all that stuff. It's like, no, that's not the case. God has knowledge of all potential outcomes, but that doesn't mean that those outcomes are necessarily predestined. There are some things in the Bible that God predestined, right? And there are some things that happen that God did not predestine, but then you get into this kind of circle of, like, we can only know the events God predestined by the ones that He told us that were prophesied, right? Like, hey, I'm going to have this guy named Jesus, and he's going to redeem humanity. Like, He tells us that's predestined, but there are many things that happen that we don't know without His, literally telling us that, oh yeah, I meant for this to happen, So it's
there's more to it. There's more to that too, because I used to think, no, it's exactly what he said. He never told any lies. The bottom line is this: like, what's the story about the Leviathan? What was the reasoning for that? That's a perfect example of free will.
Well, Leviathan is a creature that is the
No. Right. So who was the person that was supposed to deliver? It was supposed to deliver a message, right? And he didn't want to do it, or something.
Oh, you're talking about Jonah. You're talking about Jonah and the great fish, whale, whatever it was, sea creature. So.
And what did Jonah say to God when He gave him a message?
Well, Jonah, he refused to. He didn't want to. Jonah did not want to witness to the town of Nineveh because, he was like, they're all godless heathens, they should die and go to hell. And God commanded him to go witness to them, to give them a chance to repent. Otherwise, He would destroy, the inhabitants in the whole city. Jonah refused to. You have the whale swallows him up. He gets spit out. He finally goes to do what God instructed.
But why did God? But here's the thing. I know the story, but why did God have the fish thing swallow him?
Because He could.
No, what was the reason as to why it swallowed him? Because that wasn't. Because from what I remember, that wasn't a random event that He just randomly swallowed him. I'll make it easy. I thought that the fish whale thing swallowed him because he didn't listen to God.
Oh well, yeah. I thought you were asking like, how did the fish catch him with his drawers down and swallow him up?
No.
I want you to share where you.
But yeah, he didn't listen to God, so wasn't it like instructed to swallow him up until he did? Because he tried to like go the other direction or something like that.
Yeah. He went the opposite way. He refused to do what God told him to. And God expressed His frustration with Jonah by having a large sea creature devour him whole. So the first episode of Scared Straight,
But if it was predestined, He wouldn't need to do that. You know what I mean? He allowed Jonah to have his own free will, and you know what I mean?
He hard-headed, yeah.
And I feel like that's what a lot of people. And the same thing with was it Abraham? Who was the? Cause I'm horrible with names, right? Who was the guy that was instructed to kill his son?
Abraham. He was instructed to sacrifice his son Isaac. So.
And a lot of people wonder, why would he do that? If he already knew the intentions of Abraham in the first place. These are the questions, you know what I mean? These are the questions that, a lot of atheists I talk to mentions and stuff like that. I mean, the way I interpret it is that because there's infinite possibilities that he created within this universe.
Yeah.
It's not that he didn't know.
Well, yeah, if you actually if you read Genesis up until that point, God tells him before that ever happens that, hey, out of you, will be, a nation. Out of your seed, I'm going to make a nation, basically. So, this is speculation, but it's very possible that Abraham, while he did not know how things would happen or how they would transpire, he knew that God would have to have him an heir, to bring forth the nation of Israel, right? So Abraham may have thought that, if Isaac were to die, he would resurrect him or, something, right? So he didn't know exactly how it would transpire, but, Abraham was kind of already told, like, hey, I'm going to make a nation out of you. So it's like, for that to happen, he has to have an heir, right? So.
Well, at the same time, you know what I mean? Wasn't it like kind of like seeing if he'll listen at all?
Well, I mean, at face value, yes, it's about Abraham's faith and his obedience towards God, right? But also, on the big picture, you have to look at the major events and characters throughout the Bible. It's a model, okay? There's a model that God wants to show and maintain, in that when Abraham, because Isaac didn't know what was happening, right? Abraham, was told what to do, but Isaac asked Abraham. He said, son, or he said, Father, where's the sacrifice, right? And Abraham said, God Himself will provide the lamb, right? And that's kind of prophetic in that, you have God sacrificing His only son, the son of promise, that being Isaac and Abraham, and then Abraham saying God will provide Himself a son. So there's a lot of symbology, and there's a model of, prophetically what God would do, right, years later. So with His son. So it's multi-layers. You have what's there at face value, and then you have the model. It's like with Moses, right? Moses is this leader that, takes God's chosen people, and he, in Exodus, he kind of brings them out of Egypt. It's the same thing. There's a passage, where God says, out of Egypt I have called my son, right? But he was talking about Israel at the time, the nation of Israel. But obviously years later, you have Jesus as a child going to Egypt, and then when the thing with Herod blows over, he comes out of Egypt to go back, and so yeah, and it's there's a lot of layers, So
I've always took it as, you know what I mean? Either he wanted to let Abraham know that he had, that he had what it took to do it, or, maybe, God wanted to see what choice he was going to make, what parallel universe he was going to use, and if he was going to, if he was going to do it, he was going to intervene anyway, because he, it has to follow the storyline that God set. There is a storyline to it, He pretty much gave us the layout.
Yeah.
But for all of that to happen, a lot of things need to transpire. Like to me, I'm under the impression, right, that when you do something that's sinful, it's not just the action of disobedience that's happening. I feel like I think I expressed it to you before. I feel like there's also a scientific reason as to why you can't do it either. Not just the disobedient portion. Whether it is when you do something sinful, energy happens, you know what I mean? When sin is actually activated, some sort of decaying energy happens. I don't know. But I feel like the actions of sin is more to it than just disobedience. Because you can look at it in the actions of Adam and Eve, basically created decay for some reason. I don't think that was necessarily a punishment of God, because God basically said if you do this, then you will die. That it, you know, it's not that the hands of God did it, it was like a consequence of doing it. I don't know, what do you think about that?
I think you're absolutely right.
Because a lot of people kind of, you know, look into this and they think that it's, oh, you disobeyed God, so you won't get your ass whooped. You know what I mean? I feel like when he created this universe of good and evil, you know, or just created the universe in general, however way you want to look at it. I don't know. I think there's a spirit. Like I'll say this: when you have intercourse with a person, or with a person, there's some sort of soul bond.
I hope it's with the person.
Well, you know, some people are ridiculous.
I hope it's with the person.
When people have sex with each other, there's some sort of soul bond that happens. Now, on a very just on a plain surface level, you know what I mean? You're procreating, but something else happens just with that action itself.
Yes.
So if that's the case, it's like, why not sin as well? It has that kind of effect. What do you think is happening?
Well, as you stated, there is it's multi-layered. There is a practical reason at face value, and then there's a deeper reasoning. You know, some of it we can kind of wrap our head around. Some things we may not know completely, but like a simple example, right? I think I've told you about this, but if you look at the dietary laws in the book of Leviticus, right, in terms of what kind of animal you may eat, what animal you may not eat, you know, it's simple in terms of the types of bird, the fowls, what types of creatures of the earth, you know, and you know, what kind of sea creatures, you know, that you're permitted to eat and whatnot. And then, of course, you have, like, the hygiene, you know, cleanliness, you know, if a woman's going through her period, you know, a man, you know, a couple must abstain from each other, you know, until that time is passed. At face value, it's about cleanliness and hygiene, right? And at another level, it's about, you know, being a set-apart people, right? It's not just about being righteous, but it's about being set apart. It's about being, you know, something different, a part of the carnal world. But also there are things that are going on a, you know, metaphysical, physical, spiritual level that we're not aware of. For example, when you look at the Black Plague that hit Europe, right? A lot of people getting sick, a lot of people dying. You know, a large portion of the European population was wiped out, right? We all know this. However, the ethnic Jews of Europe were relatively in good health and they were not getting sick, right? And why was this? Because they observed, you know, at least the ones religious, obviously, but, you know, they were still observing the dietary laws and the laws of hygiene that you know, you can just get from the book of Leviticus. And by simply following that, you know, most of them were able to abstain from getting sick and were fairly healthy, you know. And because of that, it was so prevalent that the European people looked at the Jews with suspicion as if, like, they were behind it, you know, the cause of it, because they weren't being affected by it mysteriously. When in reality, you know, something that they have kept, you know, for generations ended up having this very practical, you know, application to their well-being, you know, during that crisis.
Well, God already told you it's unclean. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
and I guess people were saying that, oh, it must be, you know, you just can't eat it.
That's a real historical example of, you know, you're going by what's in Scripture, and, you know, oh, hey, look, a pandemic breaks out, and then, you know, you're relatively, you know, safe and healthy during that time. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of those people observing those walls, you know, were unaware of the, you know, how profound it would be during a situation like that in terms of, you know, their personal health, you know, and when you look at, you know, sex and intercourse, when you look at, you know, other things that the Bible prohibits people doing, you know, or, you know, as sin or whatever, there are things that are going on that we're unaware of. So, you know, once again, going back to God's character, you know, him wanting the best for humanity, you know, there has to be a reason. If he says, do not do this or do this, it's because if you know, if you sin or you are disobedient, right, and you don't do what he's telling you, then there must be some kind of, you know, repercussion or consequence of that action, you know, that's going to affect us somehow, somewhat. So, I mean, that's how I always kind of looked at it, you know.
Or you can even look at it like this. You know, oh, I can't even say that. Like I said before, you hit the nail, you hit the nail on the head, you know. You know me, I always try to apply science to religion anyway. Yeah. Not because I needed to know, but in general, I want to combat people that are just...
I don't need...
I mean, I do want to know, but it's like, it's good when, you know, I don't want to have an atheist catch me with my pants down with this, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like you
know,
those examples of, like people playing certain types of music with plants, or like, you know, people like, you know, cussing at a plant versus like saying good things, and what kind of happens on, you know, the molecular level, you know, like crazy shit like that. Like, yeah, there's totally some things going on that, you know, we're not aware of, but it's definitely having some kind of effect in the real physical world. So.
That's all I was trying to say. I know Luke isn't used to me.
Oh, he's asleep.
No, I know he's asleep. I already knew that. But
He gone.
But at least, I mean, you know, when we were talking, it was just like, what the hell is this dude on about? You know, kind of sacrilegious.
He's really he's good about. No, he
keeps his cool.
He is
I don't know what to piss people off.
Remarkably patient. Like, there's some people that I wouldn't even bother with. So he is remarkably patient. So some of these people he has in his chat rooms,
I went in there once. I was like, oh no.
I just give him a choke slam.
They were saying something, and
you're like, oh no.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, mostly it's you'll have Luke, right? So you have trust in Christ. You'll have this woman, God's little artist. You'll have mostly those two, and then you have another guy. His username is like Superman 00 something. You got David Australian. That's his actual like PSN name. And then who else you'll have? You'll have there's this guy named Gundam Jap, which he's been around a lot. He's like Blackanese, you know what I mean? So but you'll have some others. Another guy, what's his PSN? I call, you know, most of us just call each other by our first name, but what's his PSN? This guy Wayne, he's in there a lot. It's like SOG Mr. Smith or something. What's his PSN?
One person was just being an asshole in there. I mean, you know, like I said before,
you may have ran into an asshole.
One of the people that, I mean, I knew from the onset, like, that Luke was very patient. especially with that interaction, I was like, that's ridiculous. It wasn't that they were saying anything horrible. It was just like their heads were so far up their ass, you know.
They head up so far their ass.
Their head was so far up their ass. It was like, Jesus, like, you really... Jesus Christ! You really just think you have it made. You just know. He heard that.
I just woke back up.
He was like, praise God. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's, you know, but I was like, man, these people are ridiculous. The heck? Well, with this conversation, I'm pretty sure that you.
Well, I know Luke. He's had a few characters that, you know, he's tried to talk to and have in certain chat rooms, but I think he's gotten fed up with them. So there's this one guy. I never really talked to him or was in a chat with him, but there was this guy who his name was. He pretty much was constantly like just grieving and trolling, you know, really belligerent. I wasn't really around for that, but yeah. So Luke, he's patient to the detriment of his well-being, almost. So. How did that not damage him? Get out of here! Garbage. Yeah. Me, unless it's a chat or an event he has structured to be a debate or open discussion, I won't even entertain those morons. So, because once you know how to beat them intellectually, and you do, they're still gonna play some shit game with you. So it's like, you know, I'm not gonna waste my time with it. So that's the best thing you can do to a troll is ignore them. So, because they're desperately trying to get that attention, and then you don't give it to them. That's what really gets them used to. So.
Oh, I appreciate that sub, man. I really do. I'm gonna really.
You now.
I'm gonna really think about, like, not gonna be like this long or anything like that. I'm gonna look into, you know, really coming up with these provocative questions and having these discussions, and just probably just talk about, you know, just life in general, what I've gone through, why I think the way I do, because there's definitely a reason for it. So, yeah, I'm starting to get me. Somebody already told me, it was like a customer. She was like, "You really need to write a book or have a podcast."
Write a book.
Yeah, you know what I've been through, man. But I'm gonna blow these bitches up.
No problem, just enjoying the gameplay combo.
But like this one gay guy at my job, you remember that gay guy I was telling you about at my job? This guy goes ahead and he was one of the guys that he kept, like, I had one interaction with him back in 2017, and it wasn't even a negative one. He asked me how long did I work there and where did I come from, just being kind of cordial, at least I believed it was. And he was like, "Oh, you speeding in a parking lot," and he does it too. So I take it like, you know, I was like, "Man, you calling you're the pot calling the kettle black and stuff, like, you do it too." But I was like, anyway, let me go to Wendy's and whatever the case is, right? So I did that, and ever since then he just had this pure disdain for me. I never understood it, which I think I know what it is. Other than that. He goes ahead and I ignore him for like a couple of years. I didn't even pay attention to him because he will say hi to me, and I'm sorry, he would say hi to everybody. Like if it was a room, let's say Luke, you, and 2 other people. He would say hi to everyone but me. And I was like, and he clearly wanted attention. That was very apparent.
Nigga was clearly lying.
He goes ahead and he does that shit. So I was like, all right, whatever. So he took it to a new level when I went to Wendy's to get that chili that I normally get. And I kind of parked. It was like 2 parking spots near the entrance, so it was really close. I came back. This dude stopped his job so he can move his car from his spot, which was like maybe 5 parking spots away from the door, to put it near to put it in my parking spot. So I was like, maybe I'm imagining that, because we both came to work at the same time. So not at the same time. I was actually earlier than him, which means that his break would be later. So he had to stop the people from calling, or because he's in the call center, to move his car. So I was like, I'm not going to pay him the mind. I did it again, and this one was lunch. I got like a sandwich and came back, and he was in my parking spot again. So he knew exactly what my car was, which in itself was kind of creepy. So I was like, instead of me giving him, you know what I mean? And then my car got keyed too. So I'm almost thinking that he did it. But I was like, okay, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. I'm going to park as far away from this building as possible, because I don't need the exercise. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't need to be lazy and park, that close to the building. It was just getting into the building quicker is the reason why I did it. Not to leave the building and have a VIP, parking spot. I don't really care about that. So I parked my car, and this dude, sure enough, parked right in front of me, all the way in the back. It was so far away from the building, man. It almost looked like it was at the other, at another company. And I've taken pictures of that, and I told my manager about that shit too. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know what's going on with this dude, but if he's like, training to be a manager, this whatever petty shit that he has going on needs to stop. Or I'm taking it to another level. Which is reporting him. So, because we work from home and stuff like that. We have this chat we call it Microsoft Teams, and he's like one of those like managers and training.
You got a stalker.
For real. That's what it sounds like. I mean, I didn't want to say it, but but he goes ahead and he's like, since we work from home and he's a manager in training, if there's no manager available, he would have to, essentially answer the questions when we type it in the chat. Instead of him answering the question, I was like, hey, this customer is asking for this. Do we do A or B? This dude, maybe about 30 seconds later, instead of answering the question, he skips my question and says, hey, Dahab, what's going on with you today?
What did you say? The who? The Wood?
Her name is Dahab.
The Wood.
They will.
I'm just thinking of the dying
I forgot what is that his name?
The guy, he's like,
I know you.
Small child.
Was that his name?
That's the
I got a small. I don't know why that's funny. I have a small child. Like, what?
They come in different shapes and sizes. I have a.
Who wrote that?
Medium child. That's so terrible.
That just gives the impact. I have a small child means it's worse. Anyway, so that pissed me off, man, because I was on a phone I was on the phone with this customer for an hour. Nobody answered my question, and my manager told me ask my group first before you ask anyone else, and no one answered my question at all. So I said, fuck it, I'm leaving this chat. I told my manager, I said, if there's a problem, I'll ask your manager if I can leave the chat. I don't want to be in there anymore because guess what? I said, now it's personal. I don't care if you don't like me, but you're deliberately not helping me. You're discriminating. And I needed help. I don't care what your personal feelings are towards me, but you're not going to fuck up my job. You know, the more calls I take, the more money I make. So it's like, nah, dude, like I'm out. They had a personal chat with me, or he wanted to talk to me personally, my manager. And I explained to him, I was like, yo, get your dude, man, before I go to HR. And all of a sudden, like, all that shit changed. I don't know what he told him, but that shit was immediate. Because he was telling me, he was like, everybody got their flaws. I said, I don't give a fuck about his flaws, man. You better fix fuck. Care about your shit.
Everybody got their flaws. Oh, yeah. Well, the way I look at it is, you know, if you know, you work for a business so long, and you know, if you put in good work, like, and you know your superior, whoever it are, look at my English, whoever
I
it is.
I don't know what you say.
Like, I'm saying, you work for a company for so long, you put in good work, right? Like, if you have a manager or a boss that has brain cells, like, they're gonna value your position and what you do. And if there's some dipshit coming around, like, interfering with, like, your productivity, like, you know, in the end, like, even if they don't like you, that's gonna make them look bad, you know? So, or maybe maybe he's more afraid of dealing with you being pissed off versus that guy being pissed off. So,
I don't know why. I told him, I was like, yo, Sean, I'll still do my job and stuff, and well, I'm just not gonna be in the chat. Ain't nobody gotta know why I left the chat, but I mean, you know, I don't know if he thought I was like BSing. It was like maybe he's just bullshitting because I already know how he is. I already know how Josh is. But he does weird things, that manager. Anyway. So, I remember, I mean, and maybe he just, I don't, like, it's so fishy to me as he treats me nice. You know what I mean? You know how in this world, man, if somebody treats you like, there's definitely a motive to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, I need Friday off done. Just send me an email. I was like, what the hell? Now, I do good numbers, because, you know, I also sell phones where I'm at. But it ain't that damn good. But I guess he respects me. I was like, one time, I kept coming in late. I'm sorry, I wasn't on the phone like that, you know what I mean? Like, I was supposed to be on the phone, and I was basically stealing company time, essentially. I was kind of stressed out. And the guy was like, listen, if you don't... He was like, yo, I want to show you something. I was like, is it about the phones? He was like, yeah. I was like, I already know what it is. I was like, would you want to write me up? Where's the paper? I'll take full responsibility for it. I know exactly what I did. I was like, you don't have to make it a long, drawn-out session, yo. Just, we all adults here. We already know what...
You know, we've been thinking a long time, Mr. Oliver,
What's happening to this dude? But he was like, I guess he wanted to make it like, I guess he thought, what is he falling like that for? What the hell? Oh, okay. Anyway. So, I guess he thought he had to print all these paperworks and all this other stuff just to kind of prove to me that I didn't do this, this, and that. I was like, dude, it's not that deep. Just give me this. Give me the write-up paper. I already know what I did. Let's be honest here. I already know. And he ended up not writing me up because of that. It was I respect that. The fact that you oh, that was cheap. But it's weird. It's a shame that, you know what I mean, when somebody has your back, you just automatically assume that they have horrible intentions. You know what I mean? But you already know my whole history with people, man. People are straight assholes.
Straight asshole.
I gotta go to this fucking AC thing, so I'm gonna wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Thank you for subbing, like I said before. Thank you for listening in. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned for the actual. I'm gonna try to keep it like, instead of it just being streaming games, because I want to kind of move away from that. See, Terry, you thought I wasn't listening to you. I already knew about that shit, but you gotta understand, I don't do YouTube for, you know, not, you know, for my you know, for gaming content. It's really for the music. Yeah. I wasn't trying to be the next fucking PewDiePie or whatever the hell it is. I knew that was going to happen. I know it's overly saturated here, but I do want to make a platform for myself and my music.
Global.
But I do like talking about games though too, so there's that, you know. But alright, take care everyone.